Thing you want. All right, we are live in the YouTube universe.
Wait, what did you mean by that, Tommy? Everything you send in for liquidation doesn't
Yeah,
get liquidated?
yeah, everything that I want to have, they say they're going to return it to me. I just
Yeah.
have it liquidated and not pay the bigger fee. And
Okay.
there for the longest time, they weren't accepting any liquidations. Well, now everything I'm putting for liquidations are taken.
They
That's
are
great
now.
news.
Yes, they are.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, everybody's under the assumption that you could just liquidate everything. It's not the case.
Oh, okay.
All right, what we got going on out there in the universe? Anything fun and exciting? My sales have been decent. Yesterday was the worst sales day I've had in a long time. I thought about quitting Amazon. I was checking my buy box eligibility. I was looking for cheaper places to live. I don't know what it was with yesterday. They banned my store from being seen on Amazon. That's my conspiracy theory for the day of yesterday. But I mean, other than that, I'm rocking and rolling. I got no complaints on the sales front. Things are as normal as possibly can be. All right, we'll sit here in silence for an hour. I don't care.
Oh no, so where I'm having an issue is with I do Amazon Merchant Fulfilled and I do eBay. I know eBay is not your thing, but
That's all right. Gotta make money.
anyway, so everything I keep finding that's good, I'm just gated in, and this is just books, and it's just getting a little frustrating. I have some stuff up there. I have some anime DVDs that I got in, and some other books, but quite a lot. I mean, just like I'm keeping a running list.
Keep that pile separate. Most people come back in usually about like a month, and they can send the majority of that stuff in.
Okay, just weird. I'm thinking, really? Even stuff I've never heard of this milkweed editions, and I'm like, why is that? It's like an indie press. It's not even a major press. So, oh well.
It'll happen. Don't get rid of it. Keep it in a separate pile.
Oh no, I'm not going to get rid of it. Either it'll go eBay if I can get about the same, or I'll just put it aside.
Yeah, it's a lot harder now for newer sellers to they make you kind of I don't know what would you say work real hard for Amazon for them to let you sell 90% of the categories starting
Yeah.
out. Back in the
Yeah,
day, you can just
I have an older account, but which I, let go fallow, and then I had to revalidate it, but it's an older account. It's from the early 2000s,
I
but
got a I don't
still
know.
finding a
This
problem.
this is my take on the way Amazon is trending. You can agree or not agree with me. I think the older the accounts really don't have effect as much as activity on the accounts within a certain recent time frame. I think Amazon wants
Mm,
their sellers kind of like you're an eBay seller, right? You know they want you to list, right? They want you to be on there every day listing.
right.
I think Amazon's kind of getting the same way so they can uh, almost kind of squeeze out the smaller people that aren't consistent like at all. Like you
Okay.
don't send a box in within a month. Like I think those people, whether they like it or not, you're going to go away because they're just going to take the buy box from you and you're never going to be able to get it back at that volume. So I think it's going to get more important for the consistency of sending inventory in, even if it's not a lot, a box a week, 2 boxes every 2 weeks, whatever works for
Or
you.
or listing if it's merchant fulfilled.
Yes,
Is that what you
correct.
mean? Yeah.
Yep, yep.
Okay.
That
Got
type
it.
of activity, I think, is what Amazon is focusing on, and that's why so many people have lost the buy box. It's just because they don't want to deal with all of the little people. They rather deal with the huge
Gotcha.
mega sellers where the majority of their money comes from. And
Uh-huh.
I think that's kind of why I really never ran into losing the buy box in one category or another because every single week stuff's going out in those categories. So if you are that
Uh-huh.
person that's like maybe once one box every month, I would challenge you to do one box every 2 weeks, no matter who's listening to this, because Amazon wants you to be active. They get paid when your stuff sells. You know, it's the same argument I make
Uh-huh.
when penny undercut. And
Okay.
so, yeah, that stuff will ungate naturally. And anybody that's been in your situation, if we'll talk to you next month and you'll be like, yeah, I literally had 2 boxes ready to go with all the stuff I was gated in, and it's all gone.
Okay, cool. And then I have another question in regards to Amazon, and that is, so I have a book, and it has multiple listings. Am I looking for the one that actually has an ASIN?
I go lowest rank. So if there's multiple listings of a book, I'm going for the one's the lowest rank. That's usually one Amazon's promoting in their catalog to actually sell. Don't ever put it on one that has no rank. There's
Okay.
just because sooner or later Amazon's got to clear out their catalog. So I think
Right.
that type of stuff will go away with time. That's what they're kind of doing in the video game category right now. So I always do lowest
Hmm.
rank. It's like if you cover scan with CDs, you'll get like 30
Mhm.
listings of the CD. You always go with the one with the lowest rank. That's my rule of thumb that I've been doing since day one. Maybe somebody here does something different, but lowest rank, that's the one I'm going to profit based off of, and that's the one I'm using.
Okay. Got it. Okay, I'll make sure it's the lowest one.
Does repricing count, Mike? So if she had a bunch of inventory or she wasn't sending in, but she had a repricer that was repricing, does it make it look like you've got more
I don't think
activity?
so. I don't think so. I think they want units.
Okay.
On the topic of
Gotcha.
repricing, make sure if you're using Reprice It, you are at the correct level when it comes to how many units you have. I ran into this 2 times in the past month where the first one, with people I have one-on-ones with, he was at the 500 level, right, the $10 level, and he had
Yeah.
13,000 units. And he flipped that on, and the next month his sales went from, I think he was doing like 10K a month, and it basically 4x'd his sales the next month. I had one today as well. He was at the 2,000 level, and he had 5,000 units. So he had to upgrade to the correct reprice it level. So make sure as you're growing your inventory levels, you are actually upgrading your reprice it. You have to shoot them a message. It won't upgrade through PayPal for some reason, like it's broken. So you just message them, and they'll usually have you upgraded within the day. But make sure you are on top of it, because they both were in the same mindset of, I'm sending in all this stuff, like why aren't the sales catching up? And that little thing, like, boom, like it's crazy to me. So just make sure you keep an eye on that. The price really doesn't jump
Okay.
up that high, so it's not like a huge extra expense you have to have. Reprice, it's still super cheap even if you go up to the higher tiers. But just keep an eye on that. If you're out there listening and you're using Reprice it, make sure you're on the right level, because it could literally be costing you tens of thousands of dollars.
Hmm. Okay.
What else we got going on?
Where's Johnny?
Johnny moved out of his warehouse a few days
No,
ago.
that I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's probably crying somewhere because he's not in his warehouse. He's probably out back, smoking a cigarette, weeping away because he don't have that musty, stinky warehouse to sit in that chair anymore.
I thought he was moving to a different space.
He is, but it's not like his permanent space, so he's kind of figuring out a temporary situation until he can make the big move for himself. So he's all over the place with the move and everything. So I know we don't get to enjoy Johnny's snarkiness and telling us like it is. You got to deal with me, the guy who likes to fluff stuff and say you're all doing great. We're all going to be billionaires.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
but
we have some news here. We have Chris has finally resurfaced from his honeymoon.
Oh, dude, she's airing out your business, dude. This is on YouTube forever, man. That's real.
Uh-oh.
But we haven't seen him for months, dude. I mean, you got married months ago. We expected you back.
I got married
months
exactly
ago.
1 month ago. Exactly.
Must
have been a good honeymoon. How was the wedding?
Oh, it was awesome. It was better than we could have imagined. So, yeah. We've been waiting a very long time. I've made her wait a long time. She's making faces and stuff.
And I'm sure she's going, let's see, was it worth the wait?
I mean, if it's not, she better decide that now. It's a little too late.
Well, that's good. That's good. Where'd you guys go on a honeymoon? Okay, just a minute break, Mike, from the day-to-day
If you want him
drudgery.
to put his social security number and everything out there, let him do it.
Where'd you go on your honeymoon? I want to know.
Dominican Republic.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we did a week there. It was awesome. It was crazy because right before we left, we had a layover in Orlando about 4 hours before that hurricane hit.
Oh,
So
God.
yeah, so they were like, we think we can beat it. And I was like, you think? I was like, get me off this damn plane. But no, it was good. Perfect weather the whole week we were there.
How many thrift stores
Nice.
did you hit in the DR?
I'd rather not get killed.
Oh, yeah.
We stood in the resort and we did like little excursions through the resort with their transportation.
He was
Kept
on
it cool.
Google, like, pawn shops near me. So he could sneak out.
No, it was cool. It was cool.
It's crazy how life
Welcome back,
happens.
dude.
Welcome back, yeah.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
mean, if it wasn't for this group and for Mike and everybody else, wouldn't be getting married. I'll just say that much.
I'm not taking credit for that, but sure, I guess we all
Me
can.
either.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have known about the business model. I really wouldn't.
What else we got going on? I haven't listed a thing on eBay in like 3 months, and I don't feel bad about it. That's my confession tonight. And I got things I can list on eBay sitting at the storage unit.
So why aren't you doing that? Just because you don't like eBay?
I'm lazy. There you go. There's my honest answer.
Okay, there you go.
There you go. If you
I'll
live
take
close
that.
enough, you could come take it.
No, I got too much already.
I'm starting to dabble a little bit more in eBay because of all those D&D books that I have.
Oh yeah.
But I'm looking more towards like bigger, more expensive things to sell. Like I'm looking into like how to do freight shipping and stuff. There's a lot of the kind of stuff to sell in my area, like appliances and heavy shit, but it's worth money.
I would do eBay again if I had my current ASP for me to list something on eBay is $50. So like that's greedy, right? Like that's super high. So for me, I rarely find things. I got like probably 5 things that I could list on eBay. I got like a huge set of like the old school tech decks that are all like loose. So like that's gonna be a pain in the ass to list. And then I also got some shoes that I got for free from one of my backroom deals. And just honestly, I ain't got no excuses better than me just going and listing it and selling it. So yeah, that's.
I feel your pain, Mike. I feel your pain. But with that tech deck lot, that should be easy enough. Set it at an auction and let the buyers decide the value.
That's true.
That's kind of tech's advice on that thing. And don't bother looking them up one by one. People will spot the valuable ones if there are any and bid accordingly.
Maybe I should just do everything on eBay, just auctions. Like 99 cents so I know it sells, and whatever it goes for, it goes for.
There you go.
Best advice with the auction is set your starting price at the lowest you're actually willing to accept, so there's no disappointments or curveballs. If it doesn't sell, you can relist it.
As long as it leaves, I don't care what I get for it, because I'm definitely going to make. As long as somebody bids 99 cents, I'm at least breaking even. What
Funny
else we
because
got going on?
Tech Deck was the first eBay sale I ever had. It was like
Wow.
a set with a ramp. Yeah.
My first Amazon influencer sale was Halloween the movie DVD. What are the odds of that? It's just slim to none. It's weird the way the world works sometimes. I haven't really seen or hear nothing behind the scenes when it comes to Amazon. It seems like the IP complaints have died down a little bit. Some people are still getting hit with them. I still do see the occasional person getting jammed up on Facebook with textbooks from time to time, so just always keep that in the back of your mind. I did send a textbook to Sell Back Your Book this past week. Vito in the group had a textbook, and if you can get close to the same amount with the buyback company, just take the buyback money. You're going to get it a lot quicker. You usually get Sell Back Your Book within 10 days into your PayPal account if you have it set up. But yeah, I really haven't seen that much. Nothing crazy. You know what I have seen? I've seen people saying, oh, are we allowed to send things in on Q4? Because like Amazon sent out this email saying, hey, Q4 is here. There's going to be slower check-in times. Don't buy none of that. Continue business as normal. You can always send stuff to Amazon as long as you have the space. It might slow down some, but that's just unlucky draw of the fulfillment center you have. My stuff's getting checked in within the week of me sending it. So I send it out on Mondays. It's usually always in receiving by Fridays. So just have that in mind that you can always send things to Amazon. Don't let their convoluted emails that seem weird, like we don't want your stuff because we're focusing on orders. Don't let that bother you. Just keep business going as usual. You'll see a little uptick in sales. as we get close to Black Friday and all the craziness. But anything else, you just keep doing what you're doing. I don't change anything I'm doing quarter 4. It's just business as usual. Same routes, same business model, trying to hit some deals and just keep at it. And you get, and I will say this, a lot of people have made lots of results. I do these one-on-ones every single month with a lot of people, and the main contributing factor that I see, whether somebody's brand new or like kind of starting to ramp up their business, is that they're just consistent with it. There's nothing else to it besides their sales start going up when they start sending in more boxes consistently, or even sending in one box consistently. That's all there is to this. I mean, some people I have one-on-ones with, they're doing over 30 grand a month. I have other people. I had a one-on-one today. She fairly new, 2 months in, and she's like, "Well, I'm only sending in 3 boxes every week." And I said, "Only?" I said, "You're selling yourself short here, but you don't know until you know." So she thought she was like way behind the 8 ball. She's been doing this for under 2 months, and she's sending 3 boxes in every week. I'm like, "Hey, keep that up. Like that's why she's getting the results she's getting, and she's gotten good results for 45-day, 60-day business." But I guess sometimes you need somebody to tell you, like, "Hey, you're doing the right thing." And the only right thing to do in Amazon land is send in items consistently and reprice consistently so your items actually sell. Amazon does not want your stuff sitting in their warehouses. That's why I undercut by a penny. That's why everybody hates me for doing it. But at the end of the day, you want your stuff to sell. I did lower my reprice it to $11. Used to be 12, but I dropped it to 11 because anything between 10 and 11 you lose money. So there's no point in going down to that. Because anything I send in at $9.99 is just going to stay at $9.99. So I went from 12 to 11. That's the only little change I've actually made regarding anything in my business. I can't catch a bulk buy if it hit me in the face. There's just nobody's willing to part with their DVDs for less than 75 cents a piece. No CD luck out there, so I'm looking every day, but I'm just hitting thrift stores. I hit some new pawn shops. I recorded a video. I hit all my thrift stores. I recorded at every single one, and I stopped at a pawn shop, and it literally saved my trip because the thrift stores were absolutely garbage. So I stopped at a brand new pawn shop I never went to before, and they had the DVDs and Blu-rays and giveaway prices. So always think outside the box when it comes to pawn shops, record shops. There's a lot more than thrift stores, and some pawn shops have books, some record shops have books. But yeah, that's what's been going on with me. Nothing exciting. Business as usual. Keep my head down. You guys see I had to spend all that money on the car. I mean, 2008 Ultima, I probably spent more than the car's worth, but what are you going to do, right? It is what it is.
You got a new car and you didn't tell me?
Basically, how much I paid.
When did you get a new
I
car?
didn't get a new car. I went to get tires, and they said I needed shocks, struts, axles, tires, everything. Everything besides the
Why
steering
didn't you
wheel.
get a new car then?
Because I got it paid off. It still runs. It's got 105,000 miles.
You can probably buy a new car on eBay.
Yeah, just like the people tell me, buy your tires on eBay. Yeah, then I got to go out there. Then I got to find somebody. Listen, all right? You're like all these crazy people out here. It's a paid-off vehicle, like I said in the video. No car payment will change your life, I promise you. And there's only 100,000 miles. That Nissan's going to run for another 100,000 miles.
Hey, my dad taught me how to change spark plugs in the 1970s. Unfortunately, he didn't know that there weren't going to be any spark plugs in 2024, but I did learn a lot of skills just from my parents.
So cars don't have spark plugs nowadays?
I don't know.
Me neither. I was asking.
I don't drive anymore.
See?
Yeah, they do. They spark.
Yeah, they have spark plugs.
If you plug it in, it's got a spark plug.
Okay.
Or glow plugs if it's diesel.
Oh my God, we're off the rails. Yeah, so my $700 turned into $2,300 at Mavis, but hey, that's why we have money set aside to pay for things like that. And like I said in the video, it was 10 days of sales cover the expense of the vehicle. So you just trade. Think of everything in life. You go to the store to buy the $10 dozen of eggs. That's like a $17.99 DVD sale, right? So like you trade the Twister used DVD for $17.99 for your dozen of eggs. All right, that's how I think about everything in life. Josh, what do you got going on? I haven't talked to you in a minute.
Well, not too much, man. Just getting through inventory, building store back up.
What are your inventory levels at nowadays? Like 50,000?
Nah. Let's see. We got about 5,500 active ASINs, 1,100 in reserved, and 600 inbound right now.
You're beating me. I'm only at like 4,800 active. I don't know about inbound or reserve, but it's not nowhere catching up to you. I'm probably closer to the 5K mark with the boxes I got out this week.
Getting back up there.
Yeah, it takes time.
Yeah, exactly. No, I was right before I started the move. I was getting up to about 8K.
It's
So
weird, right? Because if you luck out into like one or two big deals, like your inventory can jump up like 1,000, 1,500 within like 2 or 3 weeks. You just gotta keep your eyes peeled for them.
getting after it, and that's been me lately, trying to get out a number every week. So a few weeks ago, I was like, I'm gonna get out 500 a week. So that's what I've been doing.
It's hard for me to like set like a set number for myself, right? Because what the thrift stores give me, the thrift stores give me. So like I don't know. Like I know a lot of people are like, I want to send in X amount of boxes or X amount of units. Well, if I go out there and I scan everything and I don't come home with X amount of units, I mean, how the hell am I supposed to find more of them?
Yeah, if you don't, you don't. But if it's out there, why not?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Which, as far as I've seen, it is.
Yep.
I mean, just spend some more hours out. I mean, you can get a couple
No
hundred.
library bookstores out there for
Oh,
you?
there's plenty. Oh, there's plenty. Those are fine.
I went to funny
One of
story
my
about library
stops.
bookstore. I went to one of my bigger ones, right? Look online, brand new library. They moved it in Lancaster. Nice library, super nice. They redid the store. I show up, right? Place is closed. I already paid $5 for parking, right? So I look like on the signs, basically says, we're open when we can be. We're short on volunteers. I'm like, then change it on
Oh
Google.
no.
Change it on
Uh,
Google. But yet, library bookstores are really good. I think they're underappreciated. I think everything we talk about is underutilized by media sellers. Like they don't want to step outside anywhere besides the bin store or like the thrift stores. And I'm here to tell you, like, that's the worst place to go if I compare like the quality of all my sources. Like, forget
our
about it.
bin store doesn't even have books where I am. It's a large bin store, and I've only been a few times, but I've seen other bin stores. They have a dedicated section to media or books, not ours. And if you're lucky, you got to go looking through, amongst the broken glass and try to find a book. So it's not really a place I source. So
Finally went to my local bins last week after wanting to go for a while, and we'll see if it hits like that every time. Only people I saw in there was the same I'd see in California. eBay sellers looking for antiquarian books.
Did you
in
get beat
our
up?
bin store, yeah.
No,
What's that?
no beat up.
Nobody
Didn't get
left.
beat up. Everybody was nice. It was fine. I didn't get
No,
shanked.
where in California were you, Josh?
So the bins I'd go to was by one of the source that I had, and it was in Salinas.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, I'm north of LA, so in Ventura County, and
yeah,
Oxnard. Anyhow, the most of the people who are at the bins are people sourcing for the Mexican flea markets. So that's why I think there's no books or, media per se. It's other stuff.
well, they're going somewhere else. They're scanning their own. They're doing whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I could go to LA, but I'm not going to right now. I've got too much I have too many other sources, but it's just interesting how the bins are different depending on where you are. Like, some people like in Tennessee, Kentucky find fabulous stuff, and I'm like, well, wish I could do that here. I don't know where they're putting it. Maybe they're putting it online. They do a lot of their online selling now. Goodwill does. So
My bin's all closed. I got one left they used to have three within 30 minutes of me. Now there's only one left. They closed the other two locations. And they were busy every time I was there. I don't know why they could have closed
Wow.
besides what you're saying.
Wow.
That they're just selling all the products
Hmm.
online.
Like the one I'm going to, I get to talking to everybody, and they only got 3 guys running the whole thing from what I saw.
Them dudes
Hmm.
of mine were scumbags. Them booksellers of mine, if you're watching this, you're a scumbag, and you know exactly who you are. Because the few times
Uh-oh.
I went to them, it was the same thing. And I've literally seen them push old ladies out of the way to fill up their carts with their 30 family members to go look books up on the side in the Goodwill bins. So, yeah, you know who you are.
Wow.
And that's why they
Wow.
close. And bad juju got you. That's what you get.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
it's
Johnny,
crazy.
you're from the East Coast. I'm from New York. I would never tolerate that. Be like, oh hell no.
People are too
No, no,
nuts.
no.
Deb says thank you for showing Georgie.
Aw.
Yeah, the bins they're hit or miss. Some people literally have whole businesses just off bins, like 100%. They go to their bins every single day.
Yep.
You're all in, but if it's working right, I can't sit here and say, hey, don't go to your bins, right? If that's all you know, but if that's all you know, you roll, the hurricane
part of
might
it.
show up.
Why can't it be a part of it? I mean,
Yeah, for
even
sure.
Yeah.
even if you didn't want to get into bulk, I mean, it's an opportunity to get a large number of scans at one sitting.
But I don't know, like, what are the prices at your bins? Mine's are $2.99 a pound. You get a hardback book, you're paying like $4.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, it's different everywhere.
50 cents a book out here, and they were
No
way
wonder.
underestimating.
Yeah, them days are
You got
gone
paid
over
like
here.
30 cents a
By the
book.
pound. Yeah, them
Yeah.
hardback books. They used to be
That's
what
why-
you're saying. They used to be like 50 cents.
They
That's
went
why I
up to
look
like
at-
$1.89 a pound. So like DVDs were still cheap. That's the only shitty thing. They in California they would separate out their DVDs and CDs, video game, whatever, and it would just be in a bin. Out here, they're putting it into just a mixed like household goods bin, and it's just a mixture. So you'll be walking through the other bins, and all of a sudden you'll hit just a box or two, a whole bunch of DVDs, CDs, whatever. It was kind of cool. Price was right.
In my area, it's 69 cents for any media, DVD, CD, book.
Wow.
Plus tax. You have to pay tax when you check out.
So one of my local bins places ended up becoming one of my bulk Gaylord sources because I was in there and there's only like 2 bins for media, and there's some, just call them jackasses, that were like just throwing books on top of the stuff I'm looking at, just being jerks. And I finally walked up to the manager. I said, do you guys get these like in Gaylords, or is it just fixed in? He goes, oh yeah, we have Gaylords in the back. We're constantly having to dump this out, dump the stuff in. I said, I'll just buy the Gaylords from you. You guys can use these 2 bins for something else. And they go, yeah, we can do that. So now they don't sell media inside that location anymore. I buy it all out the back door.
Oh wow.
And those guys don't get to throw crap on me no more. So I kind of got a better deal of that.
Cutthroat. They got nothing.
You're like Lex Luthor.
Yeah, they got nothing. That's what they get.
You're like Lex Luthor. That's a villain move.
Being jerks. That's how you deal with it, and it's a pretty decent source because it's somewhat pick through stuff, but so it's not like a lot of really high dollar stuff, but it's a lot of volume.
I think you should fill up the truck and then slowly drive by the front of the Goodwill bins while they're still in there and just have a big smile on your face and just give them like the presidential wave, hey.
First time I left, no, I'm not the truck, 16-foot enclosed trailer, 4 pallets at a time. I did wave at one of the guys who was being a jerk on the way by because he was standing outside at 9 o'clock waiting for it to open, and I'm already done loaded up and driving away.
One conversation. It's amazing what it can do in this.
All you gotta do is ask. And it was for them. Your stuff Gaylords come in, they just put them up on the wall. They don't have to worry about, putting manpower on it. It's win-win for them.
Yeah, that was one thing. I was there late that day, and their backlog of Gaylords was ridiculous. There was shit there from 2, 3, 4 months ago. They've got them all dated from what stores it came, and it all had dates from 2, 3, 4 months ago. And so yeah, that's I got to make a trip back to California, but as soon as I get back, that is the conversation that I want to have with them. Was weighing out my trailer. I think we can get about a dozen on at a time. So,
not many people own their own pallet jack, but if you do, you can set your own rules.
Roy, did you rent a trailer for that, or are you housing these at your own home or facility?
I own my own trailer, and I have a storage unit, so I use that for, you know, when I pick up more than I can house, and then I can do 2 Gaylords in my garage at a time. So when I go and pick up, you know, 4 Gaylords, I'll put 2 in the storage unit, bring 2 home, work them. But I can also leave some in the trailer as well, because I can leave the trailer loaded in my yard.
That's a cool idea, because right now I'm working with Gaylords as well, but I'm buying them in a large quantity, so I'm working at the facility of my supplier. But that's cool, the way you're doing it as well. That's interesting.
Yeah, I just pick up 4 at a time, haul them back. It's just easy. And I can leave them in my trailer. I can drop them off the storage unit, you know, because I have one unit where I can fit 8 Gaylords in it, exterior unit. I just drop 8 Gaylords in there. I can make a couple trips, because he's not my only supplier, but it's just one of my bigger ones.
That's awesome. That has me thinking
I can
of
go
other options.
once a day and pick up, you know, two or 3 trailer fulls a day. I'll never be able to take them all.
There is somebody in the group that works with libraries, and they just have those big push bins. So they're not Gaylords, but they have their own push bins. Yeah, they give to the libraries, and then what they do is they just rent out a truck like once a month, and they go run their route and load up all the libraries, drop off empty ones, put the loaded ones into the back of the truck. They rent it out once a month, take it to the storage unit, and deal with it there. So there's plenty. There's so many different ways to think outside the box of this business besides just going to the thrift store. And honestly, the thrift store is probably some of the toughest grind you can have. Like, yeah, the bulk sucks, but it's, you know, you can do it from the comfort of your place if you have it set up, or if you're doing that kind of volume, even if you have a small warehouse or something. The storage unit life sucks. I'll tell you right now, right? Ain't got no bathroom. If it's cold, you're cold. If it's hot, you're hot. Like, the fan only runs so long. The heater only runs so long. But, I mean, as you scale the bulk business and get a few quality sources, that's how you really can start to, you know, start pushing to 20K months, to 30, 40, 50K months. And I'll tell you right now, there's people I have one-on-ones with in the group that just thrift and hit library, like, stores only, and they're doing over 25K a month, and that's just, you just got to go hard at it, right? He's out there 6 days a week, traveling 6 hours one way, getting hotels, planning things out. Either way it works. It's just a matter of, you know, what you want it to look like for you.
Well, that's it. And that's kind of what I've been pondering. It's, do I do that 4 or 5 days a week? Or do I go back to bulk? I mean, I could have somebody listing for me again and just be out traveling, but...
Depends. If you like driving, go for it. I used to love
I
driving.
love driving. Not necessarily during the winter. Snow time, you know?
Yeah. On the topic of bins, the bin store me and Brian went to when Brian was in town, they closed that one, and we were there. It was busy. I mean, they didn't have much media, but I remember that they were by the pound, because I'm pretty sure I grabbed like a Harry Potter book, and that thing was like £3 because it was a big hardback. I think they probably wanted like $6 for it, because they go off the weight now out here. But yeah, that one's closed. Now they just, instead of the bins, they push the wall back, and it's just a big store now, because it used to be half store, half bins. So they got rid of the bins and just made it all the store.
Yeah, I think we're pretty safe on this side. This is the only bins they got on this side of Illinois. There's actually, Illinois, there's only 2. You got one down southern west, like southwest side, and then one up by Chicago.
So the question comes, if the used book guy could get a Gaylord of books or CDs or DVDs every single week, would he take them? I think the answer would be yes. I wouldn't completely move away from thrifting, because I really don't have that much competition around me. But, I mean, the more inventory you scan, the more money you're going to make, whether that's in a Gaylord or in a thrift store. And if I have the Gaylord, I can have a process that's more refined than walking into a thrift store. And like I said, that video I recorded, I walked in some stores and there used to be 6 shelves of books, and I shit you not, the one had like half a bookcase full. They went from like a whole wall to half a bookcase full, and that's the risk you roll with the thrift stores. You don't know what you're walking into, if they picked over, if their business models changed, and that's just, I mean, that slapped me in the face that day, and I wish I would have had a Gaylord available for me. And that's what I always say: half the libraries doesn't seem like much, but one pickup, a month, and then you get in on the sales, like all of a sudden you're rocking and rolling. I think a mixture is the best way to go, unless you want the full bulk life operation and you want to be the conveyor belt person. I think having a mix is a safe play, the safest play, because there's so much of it out there. You can't turn all the money away that's just sitting there for you to take, especially at the bulk prices you can get it at. But I think it kind of covers the topic here, is why a lot of people fail right away. Is a lot of people, they just want to go to bulk right away without understanding the business at all, and they never sent in 10 boxes, 20 boxes, 5 boxes even. And I've seen it out there. People start selling books, and the first thing they do is go get a storage unit and buy Gaylords. It's crazy to me that we want to just have all of the inventory without understanding any other part of it. Don't get me wrong, all the inventory sounds real swell and nice, but 10% accept rate, 90% of that Gaylord, you better figure it out. And what happens? That your storage unit sits full of duds and you don't know what to do. You gotta get through the inventory. You gotta scan and get rid of stuff in the bulk game as fast as it comes in, is just as fast as it needs to go out. And that's even more important, especially with bulk, is, do you need an employee? Do you want to have an employee to speed this up? And that's one big thing that kind of weighs on me, right? It's like, should I have an employee? Like, should I pay a scouter that lives in Pittsburgh to go out and scan books and then have them shipped to me? There's so many different ways you can do it. What else we got going on?
There is, but we all got the same amount of time in the week, and at some point you run out.
Yes, especially if you watch Unsolved Mysteries. Sure. And Bob Ross.
Couch time. That definitely eats into it.
Bob Ross, are you a painter?
No, but he can paint good.
Yeah, but so why do you watch him?
Well, let me rephrase that. I've never picked up a paintbrush, so I might be Bob Ross Jr. I'm just saying. I never picked one up.
Oh.
I haven't played football since high school, and I still watch sports,
Roy still got the QB1 arm out there, right? Like, I was a superstar soccer player, so maybe I could go play for, like, Manchester United or something.
Uh-huh.
I broke my big toe. I'm not as fast as I used to be.
Did you see the Ducks are #1? And you mocked me last week. You mocked me. They are #1 in the country.
DVDs as much as you did the Oregon Ducks, you'd be a billionaire.
You mocked me, and they are #1 in the country.
Okay.
Just saying. Be careful who you mock.
Been there, done that.
See? There you go. You're old news already. He just one-upped you.
I have a question. This is Leslie. I had a second authenticity complaint last week, and this time it came with a big orange banner saying your account is at risk of deactivation. I went in and acknowledged it. I didn't have to call support this time, but it was a library pre-owned item, and it seemed like the seller did not have, or the buyer did not have to return it or request a refund. They just filed this complaint. Any tips or thoughts on that?
Was it you said it was a book or a CD or DVD?
It was a DVD set that was library pre-owned, a TV show.
What TV show was it?
Code Black, I think.
Not familiar with it. Either way, there's nothing you really can do, because They can claim anything for anything, whether it's library or not library. Code Black, was it? You said a TV show? I'm just curious if it was just from the buyer saying that, or if it was like the actual publisher of the DVD.
Oh, no, I think it was an individual buyer. And I had to go into voice of the customer to see what they said. And they said that it was burn copies and not actual copies. And that's the second time I've had that from the library sale. And one of my best libraries is mostly library pre-owned, and I very clearly disclose that in the listings.
That's going to be probably very common with your library set. The library sets that audio CDs and DVDs where they had their own cases, and people get those and they just, if they don't know, they don't know. And it does look fake, a lot of times, and they're just going to complain that it's fake. Really, nothing you can do about that.
Okay.
In the comments, you can put all the notes you want in the world. We all know that nobody reads the notes.
Yeah. I know, right? I know. I've had people think they were getting a new book and return it.
This is going to sound dumb and unhelpful, but I think you're just unlucky for the time being, because I send in those all the time and I've never gotten a single one over the 5+ years I've been doing this. So don't play the lottery and don't go outside if it's thunder and lightning, because it's not, you're just running into a little bit of bad luck.
I have had some good luck. I followed the pricing advice on the $17.99 and $19.99 DVDs and CDs, and today I had a sale yesterday, a CD, I think it was $19.99, that had no sales rank, and there were 3 or 4 other copies at $35, and it sold. It was something related to a radio station, like a local radio station from another state, and yeah, sold for $19.99.
That's the only thing that matters, and the whole reason this group exists is nobody else is going to do exactly what you just did when they see that item at a thrift store and scan it. So that's literally how you're going to make a lot more money than people that are just out there scanning with their earbud in. And it works. We've all seen it. It's the same with everything else we do differently here. So $17.99, $19.99 is my sweet spot. Johnny goes up to $29.99. But yeah, no offers or people that are way out of line. I know Chris jumped off the call, but he sent in some 0 sales score stuff and just priced it properly, and it sold within 3 weeks of it getting there. So if you understand the data you're looking at, and if you ever see these crazy ones you scan and it's like, you're going to make $10 trillion, that's never the case. But if you go in and set that at a real price, $29.99, $19.99, I guarantee you that sales score means absolutely nothing if their price is out of whack. No shit, nobody's buying Mariah Carey's Christmas for $3,000, right? But if you got it at $20, all of a sudden it might sell. That's all we talk about, is understanding the data different than anybody else.
That's a good point, coming in lower on those items that are just overpriced. But the crazy thing is, Amazon maybe they tell us somewhere deep in their information, but I strongly feel that they advertise items once they have FBA offers, because I'm seeing sales of things that I expect to sell within months and months, selling within the first week, and I'm not priced any lower than the existing MF offer. So that shows that they're not driving traffic to these listings that only have merchant fulfilled. There's a change once there's FBA on there, so we have an advantage, and those fees are worth it in that case.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you're the only used FBA. You're at least putting it at $17.99. As long as there's a new copies for cheaper than that. So basically every one of those you come across is a $10 bill after fees in your pocket. And like Sigil said, once you're FBA, somebody Googles that, all of a sudden it's popping up Amazon Prime. That item sold way faster than you would think so. And that's why we always took risk on the longer tail items, but we weren't as experienced back in the day. We just figured, well, as long as we win on 7 out of 10, we're still going to come out ahead. But now we understand the data a little bit better, and if we price it smarter, especially if we're the only FBA offer, if that's a 1 sales score item, I mean, I would challenge anybody here, if you never go down that low and you scan one and you see it's a one sale square item and there's no used FBA and the new price is, or there's no new FBA as well, I guarantee you send it in, put a little SKU that says, testing this crazy idea, and it'll sell within a month, and this item hasn't sold within the past 6 months. What else we got going on?
No, in response to that, I just have a question for the group. Does anybody else notice, does your listing software, Scan Lister, Excel List, whatever, do they put the sales rank, or not the sales rank, the sales score, e-score, whatever you want to call it, in the anywhere? That's one of the, here we go. I'm going to get yelled at for this.
Here we go on Turbo Lister. Let's go. We got to send him a Turbo Lister shirt.
No. So anyway, Turbo Lister will do that. It looks at the sales rank because Turbo Lister is integrated with Scoutly. It will put the sales rank in your SKU if you pick it. It's one of the fields you can choose to go into the SKU that you create. So
we can do
if your software
we can do the rank, but we can't do the sales score. Can you do the sales
No.
score?
Yep, you do the sales score. So if I get something, I use that same philosophy. I look at it, if it comes back 0, but I see that new is, $45 and used is going for 20 something and nobody's got an FBA in there, and that's one I'll get. And then I know that was one of my 0 sales score. It's right in the SKU.
Yeah, well, and the biggest thing with that is they're always going to scan red 95+% of the time because it's going to pull off the merchant prices because it's just software. It's not magical. So if there's no FBA prices, that's probably going to go off the used buy box, which is going to go to the merchant offer because there is no FBA prices. So 95% of those are ones, if you're not looking or paying attention, you're never going to see. And it's just, you're going to print money a lot faster on things that would never sell, or other booksellers would never even buy. Like I sold a book that was ranked over 5 million. Like no one's ever going to touch a book that's over 5 million besides me and maybe a few of you crazy people in the group. But like if you look at any group, any other media selling group, they're going to say, why you got to be out of your mind? Well, you don't know till you know. That's why I tell everybody, try things out, right? Like try things out, see if they work for you. And whenever I talk about something, I at least tried it for a little bit and have gotten results. I don't just tell you all, although that would be a fun experiment, just to send you all out on crazy different business models to try crazy things, and then you guys can report back to me instead of me having to go down the rabbit hole.
So this past week I had to run up to the Denver area. So on the way back I stopped at an ARC Thrift, which is what we have here. They're kind of like a Savers, and there was somebody over there doing the books. So he was, had the Reezy scanner, the little rectangular thing, and he was scanning books, and he had a shopping cart full of books. So I went back in after him, and I was kind of doing a little bit of cherry picking because I didn't have a lot of time. So I just looking, and I started pulling stuff out and putting it in my cart. I got quite a nasty look after I went back over what he did and was pulling out books that he left there because they were, sales score 3, sales score 0, sales score 6. But, there was hardly any of them on listing. The news were going for $35 or more dollars. So he was not happy.
Listen, to each their own, especially if you have competition. You can't just be cookie cutter, use the generic triggers, never look at your phone. If I had, 3, 4, 5 scanners in my, either one other person that was a hustler, like, I know for a fact, like, unless they literally are members of the channel and they're just trying to put me out on the streets, like, they're leaving stuff behind at every single store. Like, I'll scan, I'm not afraid to scan behind anybody at any library sale, any thrift store, and I'm in the same boat as Brian. I think it's kind of comical, and like the few times I do come across somebody else scanning, I like make it a stickler point. Like, I'm going to go behind them and I'm going to scan and I'm going to find something, because I guarantee you, and you can watch them, right? You can see when they're scanning. I never see anybody looking at their phone when they're scanning. It doesn't exist. Right? We just have the earbud in, we take the greens, leave the reds. Most people don't touch books over 1 million. And when I sold that book that was 5 million, the rank thing means no sense. Because I sold the book that was ranked 5 million, and when it sold, it jumped all the way up to like 880,000. So this idea we can't touch books over a certain rank, it doesn't make any sense because the fluctuations are so high within the category. It just, but hey, people are still living in the past of book selling. That's all there is to it. They still think the business model 5 years ago when I started, in every thrift store you're leaving with cartfuls, you could sell books in $9.99 and make money, does not exist no more. And that's why a lot of these people go away with time. That's why you don't see a lot of the same faces selling media for an extended period of time, because the business is always changing. You got to change with it. I mean, just look at how much DVDs and CDs has become in a part of our business. And I never even messed around with this stuff for the first 2.5 years of my business, and I didn't have to. But you got to change. You got to stay up with what's going on. And when the fees go up, it's going to get harder to find books. And, that's just the reality of it.
To, I guess, piggyback off what you just said, Brian, I had a shipment that I sent in of 56 items. The average sales rank was for the shipment was 3.8 million, and more than that, half of that shipment has already sold in 3 weeks, just because there was people who had stuff priced at $200, and because I have done some online arbitrage, I have the paid Keepa version. So if something looks weird, I just look at the Keepa graph. It's like, okay, highest sale in the last year's $30. I put it at $30, and that shipment on average is gone for about 28. But still, that's stuff that I think there was maybe 20 people at this book sale, and I was there late because I'd been playing beach volleyball all day and waited to go. And when I got there, there was a ton of stuff left over. So the really high sales rank stuff does sell if you price it appropriately.
Yes, don't buy every one sales score item you see. You will go bankrupt. And then you can't blame me because I just said it and it's recorded on YouTube. Don't buy every slow moving item you see. It will not work. I see it all the time. I scan items and there's multiple people on listings that sell once every 6 months, and they're all down at $8 fighting each other for an FBA sale. That's never going to happen. This is a selective process where you're going to learn as you go, and you're going to be able to pick and choose your spots better and better and better, and you're going to just, all this is experience, right? Like the cookie cut and reselling in this game, it just doesn't work no more. It's all experience, understanding the software. Can't say it enough, like understanding Scoutly. What does it mean? You don't even need Keepa. I still don't have Keepa to this day. You just see what's going on. You know if something's priced for $1 trillion, it's probably not selling for that. So just be realistic with your pricing. Don't let the software, just because they got it at 100, you don't need to be $99.99, right? Make sure it's priced at a price that sells. You don't get paid until it sells. It's monopoly money until the item actually sells. And that's why I've always been the penny undercutter, because I'm not getting paid. This potential money sitting at Amazon, it means nothing until the item sells and the profit actually goes into the bank account. And you just got to be aggressive with pricing and don't hold out. Take some of the money today. You're smarter today than we are yesterday. I give you $5 today to go source. You're going to be smarter sourcing than you were yesterday. Have that mentality. It's the same like when you first start out and you go back and you look at all the books, right? And you're like, what was I thinking buying this stuff, right? Then you got to do like a removal order for like 500 books that were all just absolutely garbage. You don't know until you know. And media is the cheap way to make mistakes, learn the business, grow the business, and just kind of turn it into whatever you want it to be. You don't want to go out more than 3 days a week? That's fine. You can sign up next to me and a few others in the group and have whole days to watch Unsolved Mysteries. But if you want to be crazy with it and have Gaylords and do all that, that's a-okay too. You want to do eBay as well? I ain't got nothing against eBay. I commend eBay sellers. It's a much more grind than it is on Amazon, I'll tell you that much. So different things for everybody. If you like books, that's a-okay. If you enjoy certain genres of books, you can specialize in anything you want. We got people, believe it or not, that sell literally only romance books on eBay. They exist in this group. Who in their right mind here is going to sign up to sell romance books on eBay? None of us. Like, we're all running the opposite direction. It's nightmare fuel. But there's business models out there that literally have romance novel eBay businesses that actually make money. You just got to figure out what you want to be and how you want to do it. I don't think there's no right or wrong answer to it. The only wrong answer is just relying on the software and believing that reselling is going to get you rich quick, especially Amazon. Like it's going to be 6 months till you start making any kind of money on Amazon. And most people, when they start, like running into it, Troy's running into the gates, and that's it. They say, well, I went to list my first items. I was gated in 90%, and then Troy never shows up to a Zoom meeting again because she's done. And that's the reality of it. Like, as much as like we say or joke, people ain't got no kind of, I don't know, wherewithal to weather a little bit of a storm to see how bright it can possibly be on the other side if you just stick with something for a little bit of time. But it's not spun like that, right? Everything you see about Amazon is make 10K a month, make 5K a month. So you think, all right, I'm gonna hit the ground running, and then within 2 months you're doing $5,000-$10,000. That is not the case at all, and unfortunately, there's no way that it's ever going to get across, because for every one of me telling you it's going to take 6 months to make $1, there's 1,000 other people telling you can make $5,000 in a month your first month. So it's like it's an uphill battle.
I am still hitting a lot of gates on DVD and CD. I've been auto ungated on a couple. I am setting them aside. I have room to store them. I'm not really dealing with it right now. But any suggestions on that?
Yes. Get a little notepad of all the little publishers you're gated in, and then see who they're owned by. We talked about it a few times where a Sony Invoice, Sony owns like 90% of the DVD world. So all the little guys they own, you can use your Sony Invoice. Same with music.
Okay, thank you. I was going to try Christian books too.
Yeah, but you don't want to do one for all the little guys, right? Like if Sony owns Rhino, then just get a Sony one so you can use it for Rhino, BMG, like everything under the sun. And you can just Google like Sony video recording companies, and the wiki page will pop up, and you'll be able to see all of the companies they own. It's kind of like Procter and Gamble, right? They got the toothpaste, the cereal. It's the same way with DVDs and CDs. Sony's got the majority of the share, so if you just get that one invoice, it'll actually ungate all the subsidiaries that they own as well.
All right, awesome. Thank you very much.
What else we got? 3 minutes left to burn before I go make myself some hard shell tacos.
I was going to say something about the library book sales. Since they're run by the friends of the library, it's worth it if it's within your budget to join them for a year. Annual fee is can be $10, $15, and then you find out when all the sales are. So there's a library bookstore that I go to quite often, but I had not taken my own advice. But I was lucky that I checked up on them. I check up on them like every week on Facebook, and they were having 50% off every book for members only. So I'm like, okay, then here's my $15. Thank you so much. And it really worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, everything in my wheelhouse that I like to sell, plus a couple of things I'm hoping for Amazon. But books I would have turned down before because I'm like, no, I do not like paying that price for that type of book. But here I was able to buy them because they were 50% off, so now they're within my budget.
Yeah, it's like the people that volunteer at my library, they all get excited because they can shop the library sale just like I can before it's open. They can set everything up, and they say, hey, if you want something, go buy it. And then they actually have, in addition to me being a cheater and shopping the day we set it up, they actually can shop it the Wednesday before it's open to the public on Thursday. So they have like a friends of the library thing like you're talking about. So it's like for the volunteers, you can bring your kids, your family members. So like you're automatically in. And there's people in the group that volunteer at libraries, and they'll just go set it up, and then they'll just scan, and literally you just trade your time for money. And it's literally a cheat code. But we'd rather sit outside in line. I send Tommy Boy out now. I give him a little tent and a sleeping bag a week ahead, and I Uber on McDonald's. Here you go, Tommy. McDonald's is on its way, so he can save my spot. And then like 5 minutes before open, I show up, and I got a short bus full of people loaded with scanners, and we just clear everything out.
Oh, fun. That's it.
Jerry, what do you got going on?
Okay, so I have a question regarding stranded inventory.
Okay.
So, are people successful when they have stranded inventory that's a create a new listing error? I am never successful with those.
You can try. Try different conditions. If you use the same condition for everything like me, or if you just use good or brand new, there is no workaround that we currently know of. And whenever one of us figures it out, everybody will be the first one to know, because we all run into those created new listings. You can try it. Some of them will take, some of them won't, but I'm in the same boat as you. I went through the other day and I did like 20, and then I don't think it took a single one. But some people are like, hey, I do it and sometimes it works, but most of the time for me, it's never working. And what happens, you just got to check to see if it's, for me, if it's over $20, I'll have it sent back and send it back in. If not, I just liquidate. Unfortunately, it's a glitch on Amazon's end. There's nothing we can do. There's nothing wrong you're doing. It's just Amazon, just their catalog is just crap on some of these listings, and it automatically glitches out.
So bizarrely, and I'm not a big seller at all. I'm I'd call myself a hobby seller. But when I very first had the Amazon reseller thing, I used to list on Amazon because I do a box maybe every 2 weeks. I never, ever, ever had problems with stranded inventory, but using any kind of listing software, that's what I've encountered from time to time. And I find now that I'm probably just going to have to, delete them.
Maybe
and it's really irritating. And you go to Amazon and they're absolutely no help at all.
Anyway, you get the generic canned response. I mean, you're probably 100% right. If you do it through Seller Central, maybe you don't get those errors. So the trade-off is your time listing with the listing software better than listing through Amazon Seller Central to save the few.
Right.
Yeah, that's all it comes down to. What's it worth to you? But if you can look and see the high expensive ones and have them sent back, and then you can merchant fulfill them or eBay them, that's probably your best bet, especially as you start to grow some. I probably got like 30 of those sitting there right now, Jerry, and there's nothing I can do about it. It's just it sucks too, because some of the stuff is high value, so I got to have it sent back, and every year there's something different with Amazon when it comes to like glitches. It used to be listing errors, and then they changed it, and now we got this one that we can't fix. We used to be able to fix the listing errors, but this one is just you're screwed.
Yeah. Okay. Then I'll not waste time over it.
Yeah, if you figure out a way to fix it, please let me know. It'll be our little secret. We won't tell nobody else. We'll let everybody else suffer.
On one of them, they sent me this like very involved way of like relisting it, and it still didn't work. And I can't even list it. I apologize for my dog. I can't even list it FBM now. And it's like, not that I want to do FBM, of course, but
you're in the same boat as us all. You just, the 5 units, you got to decide if you want to liquidate or have them sent back.
Yeah. Okay. Well, they seem to be allowing you to liquidate again, so that's good.
Yes, liquidate always over having it sent back unless it's super expensive.
Right.
But don't you agree that, like, I know we're all anti-FBM, but I do have to say I've had a little modicum of success with it, and the fourth quarter is coming up. So I'm going to solve all my problems with FBM.
Yeah, for sure.
If I can't get anything in on time, I can't do any more than I'm going to do. I'm just going to FBM it until it drives me crazy. And there's I asked this one guy, said, because I'm selling a wholesale product as well, and it's about, I don't know, I've about over 100 units here. And so he said, he goes, and I said, but I'm not going to walk through the snow to get to USP. And he says, no, you don't have to do it. Not only can you use Pirate Ship to have them come to your house and pick it up, but he said you can actually leave them down by your mail area, and there's a scan sheet. So if you have like 50 of the 100 items ready, you can just put the scan sheets on. I have a video which I'll post in the group that shows you how you can just create a scan sheet. So if you leave 10, 15, 20 products downstairs, I think we have to stop being afraid of FBM. Don't you?
Roz, I don't want to. I don't know how to say this. I want no parts of FBM, but I do think it is feasible. Look at all the mega booksellers; they all have huge FBM operations. They don't even really
Yeah.
mess around with FBA. Like they're super picky about FBA. The majority of their stuff's FBM. I think it's great for if you got fast moving items, or if you already or have
Yeah.
like an eBay business, or you have something like you have a wholesale product. 100%
Or
you can do it.
if
But
you're stuck in the fourth quarter and you want to get your shit listed,
yeah,
I
but you got to
mean,
realize Amazon don't play games with FBM. You don't ship that on time. They'll turn your account off, right? I'm pretty sure Roy's banned from FBM. They don't even let this guy list no more FBM.
I got a permanent ban on my account for FBM.
There you
I'm
go.
completely turned off.
well, I
send us
am
the
gonna
feedback.
post. I am gonna post in your group, even though you
Yeah,
own
do
it.
it. I don't care. But you get a
That there
negative
is a
feedback, you're
scan
screwed.
sheet that you can do for all the things, like if you have orders going out and it's fourth quarter and you've got a few. And he said that the way that the video goes is that the USPS is very sloppy about it. It is, Christmas time, etc. But you do the scan sheet and they will absolutely scan the scan sheet.
Yeah.
But they may not scan your label.
Yeah, it's the same. That's all Deb uses for her business is to scan forms. So we just fill up an IKEA bag and you just take the shit.
Yeah, so
Well, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm
you're
just saying.
pissing on our parade.
Listen, I know what you sell, and when you get that one negative feedback and you can't get it removed, don't say
Yeah.
I didn't tell you so.
All right, Mikey.
Hey, this is where I need Johnny to tell Roz everybody can run their business as they see fit, or whatever his famous quote.
Yeah, well,
is.
you lost Johnny. He's off in the weeds. He hasn't come to one of these meetings in decades
I'm
now.
cutting his payback.
We need him to keep us all, in line, including you.
Yeah. Mableton, Georgia. Anyone? Why are we going to Georgia? It's like leaps and bounds away.
That's a storage unit, and it's literally loaded with DVDs and books, literally on the ground. It's full of crap.
Yeah, and it says library donation, library system donation.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah. Well, I'm not anywhere near there.
It's almost like you need a tractor with a loader bucket. Just go in there and scoop them up.
Just take a bunch
Dump
of
them into a
trash
truck.
out of the trash can and just keep it up and build it later.
Last thing before we go, Joy, I'm gonna send you. Did you get my email today, Joy, about your one-on-one? Hold on, let me get you unmuted.
I'm so sorry. I was sourcing in Flagstaff all day, and I thought I had signed up for a different day. I'm really sorry. I did.
It's all right.
My phone got it, but I didn't see it.
That's A-okay. I was just making sure that it actually got through to you, and I didn't mistype the email. I'll have the November one-on-one schedule out here pretty soon, so you'll be able to sign right back up for the first Saturday in November if you wanted to.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
No problem.
And Joy, Johnny will flog you the next time, just so you know.
No.
Okay, that's fine.
I'll make a Johnny one-on-one and nobody will sign up, and then he'll be like, why is nobody signing up for my one-on-ones? Because you're too mean, dude. Like, lay off the gas some, right? We got to have a little fun here while we sell stuff.
Yeah, Joy, that's going to be the penalty. You're going to have a Johnny one-on-one next month because you missed this one. So it was really nice knowing you.
Yeah.
After your Johnny one-on-one.
Why do people quit Amazon? They take Johnny's one-paragraph statement to heart for their first month selling, and they're like, oh my God, like he expects everybody to be running, doing all kinds of stuff. I'm like, dude, I'm just chilling over here, going out 2 days a week, living my best life. He said, why aren't you out 5 days a week? And I'm like, why aren't you out 5 days a week, right? All right, that's
Sorry,
it.
Joy.
Yeah, he's not even here. I'm going to tell him, I'm going to text him after this and say, hey, you should watch the replay. We talked a lot of shit about you, Johnny, throughout the whole podcast, right? And I'll be like, no more eBay calls, Mike, I quit. I'm going to have a new podcast host and everything else. If you need me, reach out. I have nothing else. It's been enjoy the nice weather. It was 80 degrees today for the middle of October. Next week we got Halloween. I cannot confirm nor deny that I will be dressed up for the call. You never know. Maybe I find
I'm dressing up as a duck, as you requested.
I'm gonna peek in thrift stores this week. You know, if I can find something that's half decent. I told Deb I wanted to dress up as Dog the Bounty Hunter, and she said no, I couldn't do it. She won't allow it. She hates Dog. I don't know why. I think I look good with the long hair and like the vest going with my fake badge on top. I think I could source like that too. It'd be a good video, good clickbait video.
I think I'm with Deb.
Come on. You're gonna dress up as that stupid duck.
I am.
Quack, like Ride the Ducks. The Ride the Ducks in the city, or you got the little quacker. Yeah.
Quack, quack.
All right, everybody have a good one. Reach out if you need me. Stay safe. Roy's dog's busting in. He's ready to eat. I'm ready to eat. I'm having tacos. You're free to come over. It's fake ground beef. Just let you know it's not real ground beef. So I know everybody's like, oh, nasty. What even they put in that? It's probably like I don't even know what it is. It's probably just soy, but it's the life I lead, right? You know, don't judge me. Roy's like, yeah. Roy's like, once this is done, I'm going to cancel my membership. You're eating fake meat tacos.
I'll have 2 steaks just in your honor.
And I don't want to have arms that are skinny like yours.
Oh, Roz, next time you eat something that's meat, just think you're eating Georgie's little legs, right? Those little drumsticks you have next time. That's poor Georgie's little legs.
No.
Oh, dear.
Tommy Boy.
Bye, guys.
I'm not in China. I do not eat.
Tommy Boy, send us off. Go Blue. Everybody have a good night.
Go Blue.